So the hype for Assassin's Creed Ragnarok has been building and building for the last few weeks, and that does make sense considering we're now less than 2 months away from that official reveal. With that being said though, me as well as a lot of people in the community still have a lot of questions about the game. So here's 5 of my biggest questions about Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. So something I've been wondering about for a good while is exactly how much this game will have progressed from the 2 before it. The game is definitely still going to be an RPG using the same engine, or at the very least a very similar one to Odyssey and Origins, as this will be the last game on current gen, and it just wouldn't make sense for Ubisoft to make an entirely new engine for one game. But a lot can still be done without entirely changing everything, so think of the change from Assassin's Creed 1 to 2, or from 2 to Brotherhood. We know this game is being made from Ubisoft Montreal 3, the guys who made Assassin's Creed Origins, so this will be the second Assassin's Creed game they've made using the engine, and they're surely going to make some changes. The big question being, how many? I'd expect things like the movement and the camera to stay the same, but things like combat, exploration and side content are usually quite malleable, and a great thing about this game is Ubisoft Montreal 3 will have not only heard what people have to say about Origins, but Odyssey too. So they'll know exactly what to develop more and what to avoid, based off the things that they thought worked in those games, as well as what we as fans liked and didn't like. And I'm curious as to how much progress will have been made. So the next big question I've seen a lot of people ask is exactly how the Assassins involved with this. The earliest point we know the Assassins existed was in 48 BC, but at that point they were the hidden ones, and of course we know that they underwent huge changes in the years to come. The Viking era lasts from 793 to 1066 AD, which is pretty uncharted territory for Assassin's Creed. We know that the Levantine Brotherhood were formed in 1050, so if the game takes place in the last days of the Vikings, we could potentially see some involvement there. We know of course Vikings didn't form the Brotherhood and it was formed in Levant, far from any Vikings, but we don't even know if we'll be a Viking yet, and could travel there for a one-time mission or something like that, and it could still be incorporated. We could maybe meet a character that was important in its formation, and maybe have ideologies that would later be used in that branch of the Brotherhood. Regardless of what happens though, I think this could potentially be a bridge between Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed 1, at least in terms of where the Brotherhood were. Potentially might not even be the hidden ones or fully fledged assassins, but sort of an in-between between the hidden ones and the Levantines. Either way, I'm really interested about seeing it in the game, given there being such a big gap. So something else I'm interested in is just how much this game is going to go into the RPG mechanics. As I said, I'm certain this is still going to be an RPG, but I just want to know how far they'll lean into it. The developers have seen fan reactions to the last 2 games, and the RPG format has been quite divisive. Some people completely hate it, some people think it's great and is leading the series down the right path, and probably the biggest group of people of the 3, that includes myself, are impartial to the game being an RPG, as long as it's done well. I think enough people like the RPG format where they won't want to completely stop moving that direction, but I'm just interested in how far they'll go with it. Some people have mentioned class systems and weapon durability, which I think is a bit too far and won't happen, but I don't know, maybe I'll be surprised, and if I am, I just hope that it's for the better. Alright, so this is a big one. Perhaps the most speculated thing about this game is the size of its world, because the Vikings really got about. They went pretty much everywhere around the North Sea, including Britain, Scandinavia and France, and are even on record as having gone as far as the Americas and Greenland. And with Schreier's original leak not telling us where this game was set, and just saying it'll be Vikings, the community has just gone wild with this, especially after a not so credible leak said we'd get several of these places, and also said that we'd get naval. Personally, I left Odyssey wanting a smaller, more immersive world, but I can't lie, the idea of Montreal 3 making some of these places is really exciting, although I don't want them to make just all of these, as some people seem to want them to, as that'd be ridiculous. People have said that we'd get kingdoms, small areas dotted around the world. Others have said we get one-time missions in certain places, sort of in the same vein as how we got the Vatican City in AC2, and other people are under the illusion that we'll just get the entirety of northwestern Europe. Montreal 3 are really spoilt for options, and my main worry about this is that people now have very unrealistic expectations about how big a game can be made in 3 years, and are just going to be unreasonably disappointed. I think there's a chance we could see more than just the one country, but I'm pretty sure we'll get at least some country country within Scandinavia, which is exciting enough for me, and anything else is a bonus. Now, my biggest question for Ragnarok is, who are we and what's our role? A lot of people have been assuming that we'll be a Viking already, saying things like, oh, well, the stealth won't work because we're a Viking, but we don't know that just yet. Vikings were people who killed pretty indiscriminately and were violent conquerors with little in the way of any moral code, and that description doesn't really fit the ideology of Templars or Assassins, which is kind of weird because it's pretty bizarre to have a Viking game where you don't play as a Viking, but we should remember it's not 100% that we will be. And to bring up one of the previous points, I really want to know what kind of assassin we'll be, whether we'll be an earlier version of what the Brotherhood is, or whether we'll reflect more of what we saw in AC1. The huge gap in AC, as well as the Vikings, made me really interested in this, and I'm hyped to see exactly how it turns out. Just before I go, guys, I just want to ask you, what is it that you want from Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, or whatever it will be called? It can be a tiny detail that you think is important, or something more major. I really want to put together a video about what the community wants from the game, rather than just some things that I want, so I'd appreciate any comments about that. Anyway though, guys, that's been all for today. If you enjoyed, maybe leave a like, and if not, maybe let me know why. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.